Right now we're just getting into the last stages of our phase 1 install. Well, yeah, we're starting to get into the more decorating and glazing stage. Still got a lot of woodwork to do on the 3rd floor, but we'll get there eventually.
One of the things I want to talk through is the installation of glass, or just actually glazing units, and especially when we're not working with just a piece of single glass. So what you can see going on behind me, Matthew is actually installing some double glazing, some insulation glazing. And what I briefly wanted to show you is, so you can see how fine these glazing bars are. And I'm showing you the exterior. So what the joinery team have had to do is route out the rebates a bit deeper to actually accommodate the double glazed units. One of the tricky things is not just the depth. Usually there is enough meat on the bones there, but it's the to actually cover the sight line. You also need to have enough rebate width and height. So what they've done here very skillfully is you can see just the routing out here. So you do lose a little bit of the profile on the glazing bar here, but not to an extent where it's not going to have a massive issue. And as always with any kind of a retrofit, sometimes insulation glazing is the way forward. So this is a gas-filled insulation glazing unit. So this is a double glazed unit. You can see here actually on the exterior face, I don't know if the camera picks up on that, but you can see the ripple in that. So this is a drawn glass version. Now, one of the main things that we have to do is when you work with a completely modern system with a polyurethane edge seal, which is really, that doesn't get on with linseed products at all. The linseed oil actually breaks down polyurethane. So we need to put this barrier in, which is what the siloxane resin compound, bedding compound does, which is the bit that Matthew's having so much fun with right now. Yeah, you love it, don't you? And what you'll find is that siloxane resin-based compound completely covers the edge seal, squishes over a little bit on the edge, and then on the outside we can finish it completely with a linseed putty, and then you don't get any kind of failure in the double glazed units. They're way too expensive for that.
Yes. So we want the putty to finish 2 mil below the sight line so that our paint can go up to the sight line, which creates that seal at the end. The last thing to do is just run your fingers along the whole thing just to smooth it out. Again, you don't want to be dragging it too far, but it just evens out any sort of marks and seals it against the glass. Again, roughly 2 mil below the sight line so that the paint can build up that last finish. The product as a whole is just brilliant for a large scale job like this because it just keeps on going. You do really see the benefit in its coverage when you're on a big job, which is great. Well, what I enjoy the most about it is, it's just very tactile. The fact that everything's organic, it just feels great to work with, and everything has its place. There's nothing really superfluous about any product in here. It's all got its place to be and can work across the whole spectrum. And I love really working with restoration because you never really, unless there's something severely wrong, you're never really getting rid of everything. You're always just bringing things back to a working level, and whether that's splicing in something significant to save an object, or just taking it all back to the surface and really giving it some TLC to bring it back to the beauty that it was. Once all the glazing is completed and we have our phase 1 windows ready to go, usually I like to have at least a week for things to just cure a little bit before putting them into transit. But mostly it will be boxing them up, getting them ready for safe transit. The site has already been prepped by our previous work. We've got all our beading, we've got all our hardware. Most of the hardware will be fitted on site. Apart from hiring a big van to put it all in, it's just carry on until we got a product we're happy with.